So we do begin with some very sad news. Tributes are pouring in for actor Michael K. Williams, who passed away yesterday. Michael was found dead in his apartment in Brooklyn of a suspected drug overdose. He was 54 years old. Michael rose to fame playing Omar Little, the streetwise robber of drug gangs on The Wire, and also starred in Boardwalk Empire. He earned 5 Emmy nominations through the course of his career. He's even up for an Emmy this year for his role in the HBO series Lovecraft Country. The Wire creator David Simon tweeted out a photo of Michael and called him a fine man and a rare talent. And his former co-star Ed Norton said he felt, quote, punched in the gut upon hearing of Michael's passing. He added that getting to work with him was one of the greatest privileges he's had in his career. Wow. How do you, Al, make sense of such a tragic death?
It's so weird because Tori was actually the first person, even above all my friends that are like really into shows like The Wire, to let me know about his passing. And I was in shock for a little while, and I started thinking about just his character, Omar, and why it resonated so much with me and other viewers. And I believe it's because he kind of looked like what life is. You know, life is not, for most people, them showing up with a Hollywood movie star looks and getting the role and living this perfect life. It looks rough. It looks like it talks about the good and the bad. And his character, Omar, was both of those things. He was a street guy, but he robbed drug dealers. So he was almost like a modern day
vigilante.
Robin Hood that was almost like a vigilante that lived by his own code. He had a rough life and he talked about his demons. And I think that's why everybody embraced him and why that character was so iconic and will live forever. So when we talk about somebody like him and why everybody's so hurt by him, it's because he was in a lot of ways us. Yeah. Like what we aspire to be as people is to like get up off of the floor, off of seeming insurmountable circumstances and achieve. And for him to unfortunately succumb to his disease is really a tragedy, Erica.
Yeah, and I think the fact that he was so open, that it's an ongoing journey, is something that a lot of us can resonate with. I mean, anybody who has lost someone in this way, you know how hard it is to wrap your head around this. But I mean, obviously, it's a very tragic thing, but I hope it's promoting conversations for people because, you know, I remember my first big loss to an overdose, and no one talked about it. No one talked about it for 20 years. So now that we're having these conversations more in the open, I hope that people are finding some hope and inspiration in that.
Yeah, I agree. I love Omar Little. It's one of the most transformative characters I'll ever see. It's a Tony Soprano. It's a once in a lifetime. If you haven't seen The Wire, I highly recommend it. Just a little background. He was a dancer.
Right.
And when he walks in as Omar, there's a kind of, you can tell that there's a dance quality to him. He also was an ACLU ambassador. This was a good guy. And he started off with his scar. He would get photography taken by Dave LaChapelle, moved into acting, and turned into one of the brilliant actors of our time. So gone so too soon.
Way too
just
soon.
So frustrating.
And to Erica's point, I just want our viewers to continue the conversation. I want, if any of our viewers out there are suffering or if they know someone who is dealing with substance abuse and mental health issues, please write down this number. You are not alone. There is help out there. Treatment works.
Sam, I just got to say this. I know we got to move on, but it just hit me when Erica made that comment that I was here when I found out about my friend Kevin Barnett's overdose. I was in the cafeteria at 9 News, and I remember just like getting the message from a friend of mine, and I knew it wasn't a joke, but I was legitimately in shock. And I came back and did the segment. I don't even think I said anything. I don't remember that day. So it's going to take people a while to get past this, but once they do, we have to keep those conversations going, even though they're super tough.
In his name.
Absolutely.
In his name.